I should have known something was wrong the moment Clarissa said, "Mom, pack light. You only need a weekend bag." Her voice was too bright, too practiced, like she had rehearsed the line in the mirror. But I wanted to believe her. I am Odessa Marlowe, 72 years old. And I have spent most of my life choosing to believe the best in the people I love, especially my only daughter. The drive was unusually quiet. Clarissa kept her eyes forward, hands tight on the wheel. When I asked where we were going, she smiled without looking at me. A wellness retreat by the lake. Just 3 days. You deserve it. 3 days. That was the last truth she told me. When we arrived, 2 attendants stepped outside as if they had been waiting. One took my arm gently, too gently. The other said, "Welcome, Mrs. Marlowe. We have your room prepared." Before I could ask anything, the door behind me clicked shut with a hard, final sound. "Excuse me," I said, turning back. "Why lock the door?" A nurse in pale blue scrubs answered without blinking. "For the safety of our permanent residents." Permanent. The word hollowed out my stomach. "I am not a resident." I said, "I am here for a weekend." She handed me a clipboard. My name was scrawled across pages I had never seen, signatures that looked like mine, but not exactly like someone practiced my hand until it fooled a stranger. Clarissa backed away slowly. "Mom, just relax." They know what to do. My tongue felt thick. My vision blurred. Something inside me slowed. And that was when I understood I had been sedated before we even arrived. As the nurse guided me down the hallway, another staff member leaned close and whispered, "Your daughter already sold your house. Her boyfriend handled the papers. Damon. So he was part of this too." I forced myself to focus, to breathe steadily, to stay awake. If I surrendered now, I would lose myself completely. And if my own daughter erased my identity on paper, I needed to find a way to prove I still existed. The first morning in that place felt like waking inside someone else's life. A nurse clipped a small device to my shirt and said, "Routine memory decline monitoring. Mrs. Marlowe, it tracks lapses so we can adjust your care." Care, I repeated. I did not consent to any of this. She smiled like I had told a harmless joke. "Just relax. Confusion is normal confusion." They wanted that word attached to me. They wanted every step, every breath, every protest recorded as evidence. As she walked off, another woman approached quietly. She was older than the rest. Her posture steady, her eyes alert. "Odessa Marlowe," she said softly. "I am Imani Brooks. I have worked here for more than 20 years. Nothing in this place happens by accident." I gripped the railing to steady myself. "My daughter brought me here under false pretenses. I need my phone, Mrs. Brooks shook her head once, slow and deliberate. "Phones are locked in administration. They say it prevents distress. It prevents escape." I whispered. Her silence told me she agreed. A few minutes later, I heard a familiar voice down the hallway. Clarissa. She was speaking to a staff member, her tone light and effortless. "She forgets everything lately. Please note it if she asks about going home. She does not mean it." The staff member nodded. "We will document all incidents." Incidents. That was the word they planned to bury me under. I stepped back into my room and caught the corner of a folder sitting on the counter. My name was printed across the top. I should not have read it. But fear pushed me forward. The chart listed fabricated diagnoses, disorientation, repeated memory lapses, inability to manage personal affairs, episodes of agitation. None of it was true. Not a single line. Someone had prepared this file long before I walked through those doors. Someone had rewritten me. I closed the folder carefully and sat on the edge of the bed, gripping the frame just to feel something real. My voice was steady, but it shook inside my chest. If the only proof I am sane is my own mind, I will have to find a way to show what they refuse to let me show. Mrs. Brooks found me in the hallway just after breakfast, her voice low enough that only I could hear. Walk with me. Slowly, like we are just stretching your legs. I followed her down a side corridor and into the laundry room. The hum of machines masked our words, and she closed the door behind us. No cameras here, she said. You can speak freely. My hands trembled as I pulled out the chart I had seen earlier. These documents are forged. I do not have dementia. I never have. I know, she replied. Your daughter filed medical incapacity papers 2 weeks ago. Everything was arranged long before you arrived. 2 weeks. That meant Clarissa had planned this while still sitting at my dining table, smiling, calling me her favorite person. Mrs. Brooks slid a second folder across the counter. This is a copy of what the administrators received. You should see the financial section. I opened it. My breath left me all at once. Property Marlowe Residence, Burlington, Vermont. Status sold pending funds release. They cannot sell my house, I said. Voice shaking. It is paid off. I worked for more than 40 years to keep it. They already did, she murmured. The wire transfer hit her account yesterday morning. Yesterday. The same day, Clarissa hugged me goodbye and said, Enjoy your weekend. Mom, I gripped the table for balance. I need to reach my granddaughter. Elena is the only one who will believe me. Mrs. Brooks hesitated only a moment before pulling a small pouch from her pocket. I have an old prepaid phone. Barely holds a charge, but it works. I can get it to you after evening rounds. Why are you helping me? I asked. She looked at me with a tired, knowing sadness. Because I have seen too many people disappear behind these walls. And I refuse to let you become another file. I closed my fingers around the pouch, holding on like it was the first lifeline thrown to me. If one call could save me, I needed to make it before they took the phone away. The prepaid phone buzzed weakly in my hand. The screen dim as if it had only one chance left in it. I dialed Elena's number from memory. The ring barely finished before her voice burst through. Grandma, where are you? Mom said you were traveling with your college friends. My throat tightened. Elena, listen to me. I am not traveling. I am in a care facility against my will. Your mother brought me here under lies. Silence hit the line. Sharp and heavy. She said you wanted time away. She packed your things. She packed lies. I said, I need you to hear me. This place is not a retreat, Boomi. They locked the doors. They forged papers with my name. Her breath shook. Why would she do that? She sold my house. She already took the money. A soft curse slipped from her before she caught herself. Grandma, I am coming there today. I do not care what she says. Relief and fear tangled inside me. Do not come alone. Your mother will be furious when she realizes I made this call. I do not care about her fury, Elena said. I care about you. I lowered my voice. Is anyone staying at the house, Damon? She said reluctantly. He told me he is overseeing renovations until you return. The lie landed fast and cold. He changed the locks. Elena, he is not fixing anything. He is guarding what he thinks he owns. She inhaled sharply. I knew something felt wrong. I will find a way inside, Poso. I will get your documents before he touches them. Elena, I mean it. She said, I am not letting them do this to you. The battery icon blinked. The phone dimmed again. I held on to her voice until it cut out. The only person trying to save me was walking toward danger she could not see. Elena called again that evening. Her whisper rushed and breathless. Grandma, I got inside the house. Damon left 10 minutes ago. I do not know how long he will be gone. My pulse tightened. Go straight to my study. Bottom drawer, left side. I could hear her footsteps moving across hardwood floors. The sound alone steadied me. I found a folder. She said, It is labeled Care Documentation. That is the one. Paper rustled sharply on her end. These evaluations. They are all saying you have advanced cognitive decline. Half of them are dated before your last checkup. They are fabrications, I said. Every line. Elena paused. There is a missing page. The numbering jumps. Did your daughter forget something? She flipped through the stack again. There is a loose sheet stuffed behind the drawer. A beat of silence. Then her voice hardened. This is your actual psychological assessment. You were cleared as fully capable. Cognitive score perfect. That is the truth. I whispered. She meant to replace this. Elena said, but she forgot. This single page proves the entire file is a lie. Her anger trembled through the phone. She wanted the money so badly she did not even check her own paperwork. I breathed carefully. Take photos of everything. Then put the documents back exactly as you found them. She lifted her phone. A few quiet clicks echoed against the line. I am sending them to you and backing them up. She is not getting away with this. A door creaked faintly in the background. Elena inhaled sharply. Grandma, someone just pulled into the driveway. I need to go. The line went silent, except for her hurried steps fading away. Truth had become dangerous, and my granddaughter was the one carrying it into the light. Elena called early the next morning, her voice tight with adrenaline. Grandma, I took everything straight to a lawyer. Her name is Maribel Trent. She handles elder abuse cases here in Burlington. Before I could answer, another voice came onto the line, steady, confident. Mrs. Marlowe, this is Attorney Trent. Your granddaughter showed me the documents she recovered. I would like you to tell me, in your own words, what happened the day your daughter brought you to the facility. So I did. I told her about the locked doors, the forged signatures, the sedation that made the world tilt sideways. Every detail came out of me like water released from a bursting pipe. Maribel listened without interrupting. When I finally stopped, she exhaled slowly. The signatures do not match your known samples. The medical evaluations were altered. The sedation order violates federal care regulations. Elena cut in, unable to contain herself. Tell her the worst part. Maribel tapped something lightly on her desk. Your daughter filed a petition for exclusive guardianship. The hearing is in 72 hours. If she wins, she will control your medical decisions, your financial accounts, and any remaining assets. I felt heat rise up my neck. I was never informed. She did not want you informed. Maribel said, your presence is not required for the hearing. She planned to win by default. The phone rustled as Elena shifted. So what do we do now? We move fast, Maribel replied. I am preparing an emergency injunction to freeze all transfers and stop the hearing until we present evidence. I will also file a request for protective removal from the facility. Mrs. Marlowe, your testimony will be critical. I will give you anything you need, I said. My voice did not shake, even though my body did. Good, she said, firm and calm. Because your daughter believes she has already won, that mindset makes her careless. And careless people leave trails. The line went quiet for a moment. The weight of everything settling around us. Stopping Clarissa would mean confronting a woman who had already crossed every line she once claimed she would never approach. Clarissa stormed into my room before breakfast, the anger on her face sharp enough to cut the air. Who have you been talking to? She demanded. Staff said you were asking questions again. I kept my voice steady. I spoke to no one you would approve of. She stepped closer, lowering her tone. You think you can undermine me? You are confused. Mom? Everyone sees it. Mrs. Brooks appeared in the doorway, her expression carefully neutral. Miss Marlowe, administration needs you to sign today's transfer order. Clarissa's eyes flicked toward her. Good. Move her to the behavioral wing. She is becoming combative. My breath caught. Behavioral wing. You told me this was temporary. Clarissa didn't flinch. I told you what you needed to hear. Two orderlies approached with a rolling chair. I backed away. gripping the mattress for balance. I am not going anywhere. Clarissa folded her arms. You do not have a choice, Mrs. Brooks stepped between us, her tone deliberately slow. There is a problem with the paperwork. Her physician of record line is blank. Without that signature, the transfer is invalid. Clarissa snapped. Fix it. I cannot, Brooks replied. Only the physician can authorize it. The delay bought me seconds, nothing more. But seconds mattered. As they argued, I reached beneath my collar and pressed the emergency pendant Elena had given me. 3 quick taps. The device vibrated once, quietly. Clarissa turned back toward me. When the doctor arrives, this will be done. Stop fighting! Mrs. Brooks kept her back straight. She is frightened. Give her space. Clarissa ignored her and stormed out. The door slammed behind her. Mrs. Brooks leaned close, her whisper barely audible. They know something is wrong. I will stall as long as I can. Hold on. She left just as 2 new orderlies appeared at the end of the hallway, their eyes locked on my door. Their pace quickened. Somewhere outside this building, Maribel was pushing for an emergency order. Inside the building, the clock had already run out. The 2 orderlies stepped into my room without a word, each holding an arm behind their back as if hiding something. One of them forced a smile. Mrs. Marlowe, we need to give you a calming dose before your transfer. I backed away, pressing my shoulders to the wall. I do not consent to any medication. He pulled out a syringe anyway. This will help you rest. The needle glinted. My knees weakened. Mrs. Brooks appeared behind them like a shadow. What dose are you administering? The orderly frowned. Doctor's orders. No doctor signed anything. She said, let me verify before you proceed. Her voice was calm, but she stepped directly between us. The second orderly hesitated. Turning to her, it was the crack she needed. Run, she whispered without moving her lips. I darted to the side, brushing past the first orderly. The syringe missed my arm by inches. Before I reached the hallway, another figure blocked the door. Damon. His smile stretched without warmth. You should have stayed quiet. Odessa. My breath hitched. Get out of my way. He stepped forward. Clarissa cannot afford for you to show up in court. We finish this now. Mrs. Brooks grabbed a rolling cart and shoved it hard. It slammed into him, knocking him off balance. The orderlies lunged again, reaching for my wrists. Doors along the hallway flew open, shouting echoed through the space. Then heavy footsteps. A commanding voice cut through the chaos. Step away from her police officers surged in behind Maribel Trent, who held a stack of court papers in one hand. We have an emergency retrieval order. She said, touch her again and you will be arrested. The orderlies froze. Damon stumbled back, his face draining of color. My legs finally gave out. Maribel caught me under the arms as everything blurred. You are safe now, she murmured. The words followed me into the darkness as I slipped under, held up only by the thought of what would happen to those who tried to erase me. The emergency hearing room in Burlington felt smaller than it was. Crowded with tension that pressed against my ribs, Maribel stood beside me, steady as ever, while Clarissa sat across the aisle, arms stiff, jaw clenched. Damon occupied the seat next to her, refusing to look in my direction. Judge Halpern adjusted his glasses. We will address the petition for guardianship and the counterfilings. Attorney Trent. Proceed. Maribel rose. Your Honor, this case is not about medical care. It is about manipulation, forgery, and the attempted erasure of a competent woman's autonomy. She handed the clerk a thick folder. Inside are falsified medical records, forged signatures, and an illegal sedation order executed without consent. Clarissa's voice cracked as she stood. She is confused. She does not understand what she signed. Maribel didn't blink. Mrs. Marlowe never signed anything. The signatures do not match her verified samples. She turned to the witness stand. I would like to call Nurse Imani Brooks. Mrs. Brooks approached, her posture firm. Under oath, she spoke clearly. I heard Ms. Clarissa Marlowe tell staff, she will not remember anything. Document every lapse. She encouraged false reporting. Clarissa's face drained of color. Maribel lifted another document. Your Honor, we also submit forensic results from the Burlington Police Department. She nodded to the officer standing nearby. Damon Wells's fingerprints were found on the forged will and transfer documents. Damon bolted upright. That is ridiculous. The judge raised a hand. Sit down. Silence fell tight, suffocating. After reviewing the papers, Judge Halpern looked at me. Mrs. Marlowe, based on the evidence, your rights are fully restored. All asset transfers are frozen immediately. A criminal investigation will proceed. My breath caught in my chest. Sharp, but freeing, Clarissa whispered, Mom, please. I did not answer. The truth had spoken louder than either of us could. The judge struck the gavel. The sound echoed through the room, final and cold. And beneath that echo lay the question. No courtroom could solve what punishment fits a betrayal. This deep Judge Halpern had barely settled into his seat when I stood. My legs were steadier than they had been in weeks. Maribel placed a hand on my arm, but I shook my head gently. I need to do this myself. I stepped forward and handed the judge a sealed envelope. Your Honor, this is a notarized amendment to my estate file. I wish for it to be entered into the record. He opened it, read the first page, and raised his eyes to me. Mrs. Marlowe, this permanently removes Clarissa Marlowe from inheriting any portion of your estate. Clarissa jolted upright. Mom, no, you cannot do that. You cannot, I said. My voice did not rise. It did not shake. This is permanent. Not suspended, not conditional, permanent. Clarissa's face drained to ash. Please, Mom, I made mistakes. I can fix. You tried to erase my life. I said quietly, now I am protecting what remains of it. Judge Halpern nodded solemnly. The amendment will be filed today. Behind her, Damon was surrounded by officers. One of them read from a sheet of charges. Elder fraud, coercion, forgery, conspiracy to commit property theft. Damon looked stunned, as if he believed charm alone could shield him. Clarissa told me. No, the officer cut in. You knew exactly what you were doing. Clarissa reached for him, but he was already being led away. She turned back to me, eyes wet and wild. I'm your daughter, and I am still alive. I replied, that is enough. Maribel guided me toward the door, and Elena rushed to my side, gripping my hand tightly. Grandma, it's over. You're coming home. Home. The word felt lighter than air. Outside the courthouse, Maribel clasped my shoulder. Your house will be restored. The financial freeze ensures every stolen cent returns to you. And we will file long-term protective orders so this never happens again. I nodded, breathing in slowly. Thank you. Elena's arm slipped around my waist. We will rebuild everything. Together. I looked at her, my granddaughter, my anchor, and felt something unbreakable settle inside me. I did not destroy my daughter, I said. I simply stopped letting her destroy me. We walked toward the sidewalk, sunlight warming the backs of our hands. My life was mine again. If you want more stories like this, stories of courage, truth, and justice, comment and subscribe so you never miss the next chapter. If you lose everything, but gain yourself back, did you ever really lose at all?